Today's topic is Tattooers of Reddit. What tattoos have you refused doing for a client on a moral ground? I know one good artist who won't tattoo anyone under 18, even with a parent and it being legal in his state. He absolutely refuses on moral grounds, and I totally respect that. Teenagers make stupid choices and need some gatekeeping. Husband is a tattooer. He refused a 16-year-old who wanted 666 tattooed on his neck. The kid's mom was ready to sign for him and everything. He now will not tattoo minors under any circumstances. I had an artist that would flat out refuse any name tattoos unless they were your kids, a member of your family, or dead. Didn't want people stuck with an ex's name. No tattoos, but I did witness a rather wholesome version of this while waiting for my best friend to get his latest ink. A teenager came into the local tattoo shop to ask for a tattoo of a girl's name with all sorts of romantic junk around it. The tattoo artist probably wasn't sure about the kid's age, but asked him a few questions, and it turned out the girl wasn't the boy's girlfriend. She was his crush, and he planned to permanently ink himself as a way to show how much he cared about her when he admitted his crush. The tattoo artist turned him down flat and gave him a little man-to-man advice. Hands, neck and face tattoos on younger people that have zero or very few tattoos. If you're 19 years old and want the Louis Vuitton symbol on your face and you're a line cook, I'ma say no. That was an actual request. They're called job stoppers for a reason, and I was told I was gatekeeping bodies. I'm not a tattooer, but I got denied a tattoo that was a gang symbol. At the time I was in a dark place, but now this man saved my life, forever marked with that would have ruined my life more than I had already done. I got the opportunity to work at my dream shop only 4 years in, and I learned a lot of valuable lessons there. One of them, though I'm still not sure what the correct thing to do was, it happened when a youngish, early 20s, girl came in with no visible tattoos and requested a butterfly choker that would start at the throat and go all the way around. After being told that we wouldn't put a tattoo in that spot on someone who wasn't already fairly tattooed, she left and came back with Dad. Dad explained that she has some sort of profound mental defect that means that she would never hold down a job or leave the house or be independent in any meaningful sense, and that she's wanted this tattoo for some time. After considering those new elements, we each still declined to do the tattoo and they left. I suppose the question it brings up is once again a question of integrity. Should we have done the tattoo for her, knowing we'd have done it well and not harmed her ability to work and exist within mainstream society? Or should we have washed our hands of it, knowing that she'd potentially find someone who would do it, possibly not very well? Mind you, this was back in a magical time when face, throat/neck, and hand tattoos were not trendy or cool. They really carried some weight and made a statement then. Now, I see kids in LA who only have their faces, hands, and necks tattooed. My partner is a tattoo artist, and the one that comes to mind is a woman who wanted property of BF's name in her pubic area right above her vagina. Apparently this girl was caught cheating, and this was her show of loyalty to him. Suffice to say, she did not get what she wanted that day. My tattoo artist has only done one head tattoo, and it was for another tattoo artist. He also has rules on hand and neck tattoos. He recently told me he would be comfortable giving me a hand tattoo. I'm personally not interested in a hand tattoo at this point of my life, but basically, it took me 8 years and 2 almost full sleeves before I qualified. I have deep respect for him. While obviously it's his job, he isn't afraid to turn people away and set boundaries that definitely affect his income. I refuse to tattoo tigers or any big cats for that matter. Have you seen the size of their claws? Those things would fuck you up if you tried to get anywhere near them with a tattoo machine. I had a repeat client ask me to schedule her for like 6 different large tattoos. And I mean like full coverage of areas like shins, arms, etc. She was like 19 and had only gotten smaller pieces. She told me she also scheduled similarly with another artist. I asked if she was doing alright and she admitted her BF cheated on her and she got diagnosed with BP. Apparently she was in a manic episode. I returned her deposit and told her in a year's time if she still wanted the tattoos I would discount them for her. She still does not want them, lol. Mom brought her 15-year-old son in because he had a bunch of hand-poked scribbles on his forearm. She was asking about getting a cover-up and he had selected a traditional, 3-legged panther. After having a smoke and thinking about this, I asked her, if he didn't have all this garbage on his arm, would you be bringing him in for a tattoo? After she said no, I asked, then why reward his bad behavior with what he wants? Here's the name of a laser clinic you could take him to. The cost is about the same and you can make him work off the debt. I'll never forget the death stare this kid gave me after I ruined his whole scheme. I've also refused to tattoo symbols of hate for obvious reasons, but that one with this kid stands out the most. My wife and I were in Maui for our 20th anniversary and I lost my wedding ring. I decided to get a tattoo to replace it and was refused service at 5 shops before the 6th agreed. The 5 shops all said that finger tattoos were off so they wouldn't do it as they didn't want me coming back and complaining. I pointed out that I live in Georgia and wasn't likely to come back to complain, but that didn't seem to matter. Luckily I told the 6th guy of my story and he took pity on me. I had a client who I'd tattooed like a decade prior. He was weird then but not weird enough for me to never tattoo him again. He sent me a strangely worded email with a PDF with like 50 different tattoo ideas and told me he wanted me to pick one for him. I replied with a few that I thought would suit my style best, but told him that at the end of the day I can't choose for him. I guess this set him off because he started telling me that he just wanted to get tattooed as a socially acceptable form of self-harm, and then sent another email right after that one, going on some crazy rant about how he wanted one last tattoo before he kills himself. He also reminded me that he lives like an 8-hour drive away, so I assumed for some reason he sought me out. Fucking weirdo. Anyways, I very kindly declined and sent him a bunch of local mental health resources. I don't get paid enough, lol. Wasn't ever denied a tattoo, but my tattoo artist doesn't let other people in the room when working on the design, especially spouses or significant others. His philosophy is this is your tattoo that you have to live, not theirs. That way they are not influencing a design that you might not want, just because of their relationship with you. When I was 25 in Vancouver I tried to get a tattoo that said, reserved, on my right pinky, because I was going to get an iron ring. I went to several tattoo shops and none of them would do it. They told me that fingers weren't great for tattoos and that the lettering would bleed out. I asked about a ring tattoo instead and they all said they wouldn't give me a hand tattoo as my first tattoo. 28 years later and it's still one of only 2 tattoos that I wish I had gotten, but major props to them all for pumping the brakes because of their professionalism and experience. I was once at a shop while a friend got a new tattoo. There was a guy sitting at the counter looking bored as hell and reading a newspaper. A couple of teenagers walked in holding hands, and nobody looked up or acknowledged them until they stood at the counter for a minute and said, without moving a muscle. The counter guy said, "Help you?" "Yes," the girl replied, "I want property of Buckley" in big capital letters across my lower back. Cue 20 seconds of silence. The employee loudly folded his newspaper and stared at her for a bit. Then he slowly looked across at the guy. "And this winner here, this is Buckley?" She flinched and replied, Yes. counter guy picked his newspaper back up and opened it and went back to reading it. "Nah," he said, in a voice that made it clear the conversation was over, "we're not doing that." The kids looked at each other, looked back at him, then sheepishly walked out the door. I sometimes wonder how things ended up for them, if she went on to get the tattoo somewhere else, or if that employee saved her from some regret down the line. I'm not a tattoo artist, but the artist I used to go to told me about a situation where he refused to do the tattoo. He said this guy came in with a drawing of a symbol that was supposed to be a Native American symbol, but it was something he had made up. It actually had no meaning or connection to Native American culture or history. The artist refused to do it because he felt it was disrespectful to the Native American culture. Not me, but my husband, who has several tattoos. He told me this story of when he got his biggest tattoo in college. He went into the parlor and waited for the guy he normally got tattoos with to come get him. He was cleaning up his station from a previous client. As he was waiting, a young couple came in wanting a couple's tattoo. The female receptionist, who also does tattoos, looked at them and asked how long they were together. 3 days. The girl said, smiling. The lady looked like she hated her life and said to come back to her in 20 years when they were married. Guy and girl were taken back and left quickly after that. When husband asked the guy if they denied all couples tattoo, he explained his shop had a rule that the couple had to be married for at least 20 years, or if their partner had passed or was terminally ill, to have a couples tattoo, as the town was known to have a lot of college-age couples try to get couples tattoos. He said his shop denied 3 things repeatedly: couples tattoos younger than 20 years together, any form of hate, and anything around genitalia areas due to safety concerns. He also mentioned that some previous tattooers also hated doing pet memorials because some of the clients got very sentimental of their pets passing and would have a hard time finishing the portrait, full-blown crying, meltdown, etc., but most still went on to complete the request. But for some it was a nightmare to do because clients got picky or got worked up if it was just off. Not a tattoo artist, but I was in a shop getting pre-planned work done. This girl came in looking absolutely insane and panicky and said she needed John Smith, I forget the actual dude's name, I really truly do love you, forgive me, tattooed across her like over both cheeks. Obviously, not a single artist in the shop wanted to touch this with a 10-foot pole. But after she left, it became a big betting pool of wondering what the fuck she did to necessitate that level of apology. Do you guys take tattoo removal stories? A friend of mine works with a non-profit that will do free tattoo removal for ex-gang members. He once had someone come in asking to remove a hate symbol. However, this hate symbol was from a fictional work, think Galactic Roundel from Star Wars. My friend directed him to someone who does tattoo cover-ups instead of wasting the non-profit's resources.